The evening was calm. A soft, golden light rested on the fields, as if the day itself was slowing down to breathe. In a small village, there lived a young man named Ryan. Life around him was simple. The mornings began with the sound of birds, and the nights ended in quiet silence. Ryan worked at a small shop in the town. He earned just enough to live a modest life, but there was one thing he did very carefully. He saved money. Every month, without fail, he kept aside a large part of his earnings. He avoided buying anything unnecessary. He did not go out much. He did not spend on comfort, learning, or even small joys. "I am doing the right thing," he often told himself. "People waste money. I don't." And in a way, he was right. But there was another truth, one he did not see. Days passed, then months, then years. His savings slowly grew, but his life did not. The same routine, the same thoughts, the same quiet feeling inside his chest that something was missing. At night, when the village became silent, Ryan would lie on his bed and stare at the ceiling. "I am saving so much," he thought. "Then why do I feel stuck?" He had dreams once. He wanted to learn new skills. He wanted to start something of his own. He wanted to grow. But every time an opportunity came, a small voice inside him said, "What if you lose money? What if it fails?" And so he said no. No to courses, no to tools, no to chances. One evening, after a long day, Ryan walked back home slowly. The sky was painted in soft orange colors. On the way, he saw his grandfather sitting under an old tree. The old man sat there often, calm and silent, as if he was listening to something deeper than the world around him. Ryan walked over and sat beside him. For a few moments, neither of them spoke. The wind moved gently through the leaves. "Grandfather," Ryan finally said, "can I ask you something?" The old man nodded. "I save money every month. I'm careful. I don't waste anything. But still, my life feels the same. Nothing is changing. Why?" The grandfather looked at him quietly. His eyes were soft, but they carried years of understanding. He bent down slowly and picked up a small, dry seed from the ground. He placed it in Ryan's hand. "Tell me," the grandfather said gently, "what will happen if you keep this seed in your pocket forever?" Ryan looked at it and replied, "Nothing will happen." "And if you plant it in the soil?" "It may grow," Ryan said, "into a plant." The grandfather nodded. "Then you already know the answer." Ryan frowned slightly. "I don't fully understand." The old man smiled faintly. "Saving money is like holding this seed. It feels safe. You feel in control, but nothing grows from a seed that stays in your pocket." Ryan stayed quiet. His fingers slowly closed around the seed. The grandfather continued, "When I was young, I met a farmer who was known for having the best seeds in the village." Ryan listened closely. The farmer was very careful. He kept his seeds safe in a wooden box. He would clean them, protect them, and lock them away. Other farmers planted their seeds. Some had good crops, some had bad ones. Some lost seeds to storms or birds, but they kept planting. The grandfather paused, then spoke softly. "And that careful farmer?" Ryan looked at him. He had a box full of perfect seeds, but his fields were empty. The words felt heavy, yet simple. The wind passed again, carrying a quiet stillness. Ryan's heart felt something shift. "But what if I lose money? What if I try and fail?" Ryan asked slowly. The grandfather looked at the fields in front of them. "Look at the river," he said. Not far from them, a small river flowed quietly. "Does the river hold its water?" the old man asked. "No," Ryan replied. It keeps moving, the grandfather said. Because it moves, it stays fresh. If it stops, it becomes still, and slowly it loses life. Ryan watched the water. Money is like that, the old man continued. It must move with wisdom, some for saving, some for living, some for growing. And growth, he added, always carries a small risk. That night, Ryan could not sleep easily. He kept thinking about the seed, the farmer, the river. For the first time, he saw his habit in a different way. Saving was not wrong, but stopping everything else for the sake of saving was keeping him stuck. The next morning, Ryan made a small decision. Not a big one, just a small step. He took a small part of his savings and bought a few books about business and skills. His hands felt slightly uneasy while paying, as if he was losing something. But deep inside, he felt a quiet courage. A few days later, he joined a simple evening class in the town. The first day felt uncomfortable. He sat quietly, unsure of himself. What if this is useless, he thought, but he stayed. Days turned into weeks. Slowly, things began to change. He learned new ideas. He understood how small businesses worked. He met people who were trying, failing, and trying again. He noticed something important. They were not afraid of small losses. They were focused on growth. Months passed. Ryan still saved money. That habit did not disappear. But now, he used a part of his money to learn, to improve, and to try small things. He started helping at a friend's small project. He experimented with ideas. Some worked, some did not. But every step taught him something. And something inside him began to feel lighter, more open, more alive. One evening, after many months, Ryan returned to the same old tree. His grandfather was sitting there just as before. Ryan sat beside him, but this time there was a quiet confidence in his eyes. "I understand now," he said softly. The old man looked at him with a gentle smile. He opened his hand. In it was a small green plant. "I planted the seed," he said. The grandfather nodded slowly. "That is how life works," he said. They sat together in silence as the sun slowly disappeared beyond the fields. The truth is simple, but it takes time to understand. Saving is important. It gives safety. It gives stability. But saving alone is not enough. Life grows when we use what we have with wisdom, when we invest in learning, when we take small, thoughtful risks, when we allow ourselves to grow, even if it feels uncomfortable. Because a seed in the pocket feels safe, but a seed in the soil creates life. If this story brought a small sense of clarity or peace to your heart, take a quiet moment today and reflect. And if you enjoy calm and meaningful stories like this, consider liking, sharing, and subscribing so more people can learn, grow, and plant their own seeds one small step at a time.